Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex and today we're going to take a closer look at 4 novelties from Longines. Longines Spirit Collection was introduced 2 years ago back in 2020, and the first 2 watches we're going to take a closer look at is the new Zulu time. And the Zulu time is inspired by one of their dual time zone watches from 1925. So that's way before the GMT Master from Rolex was introduced, which is quite cool. I didn't have a clue that they had a dual time zone watch from 1925. So the Zulu time comes in 3 different dial versions. I have the blue sunray one with me today, as well as the anthracite gray one. There's also a black dial version, and they are all nice in their own way. I have one favorite. Fortunately, that one is with me today, and you'll know which one it is in a bit. The Zulu time is a 42mm GMT watch. It comes on both a leather strap and a solid stainless steel bracelet. And let's start to look at the blue dial one on the bracelet. So what we have here is a 42mm stainless steel GMT watch, blue dial with a blue ceramic insert. You have some small orange details such as the GMT hand and the text Zulu time on the dial. The build quality of the watch is really nice. It feels really solid and has nice finish to the case. You have these brushed sides of the case, and the upper part of the lugs is also brushed. Then you have a polished chamfer going all the way from the side of the lugs throughout the case. And this one has a 3-piece stainless steel bracelet that mixes brushed and polished surfaces. If we stick to the dial a bit, I would like to point out a thing that I really like with this dial. It's a kind of a small detail, but for me it really elevates the whole dial itself, and that is this ring between the hour markers and the minute track. That is a polished ring with cutouts in a diamond shape for the luminous material. And how this small detail really plays in light and really lifts up the whole dial itself and gives this a nice touch is superb. And that is a small touch that I really enjoy about this watch. You have the date at 6 o'clock. You have this orange GMT hand. The crown is a screw down crown. It's easy to operate. No issues at all setting the time and the time zone and the date for that reason as well. Screw down crown, water resistant to 100 meters. The movement is a heavily modified ETA movement with some nice upgrades, and it's exclusive for Longines. 72 hours of power reserve and is COSC certified. The case measures 42mm in diameter and is 13.9mm thick and has a lug-to-lug distance of 49mm. So on my 16.5cm wrist, it wears kind of big. In my personal opinion, it's too big for me. I'd love to see this watch in a smaller size, such as a 39 for instance. Otherwise, I think it's a really good looking watch. And let's move on from the blue dial version to my favorite version, which is the anthracite dial one. And this one has a matte anthracite dial with gilt details in terms of the text on the dial and the hour markers, and also this small ring around the dial. Green ceramic insert, and this combination between the anthracite dial and the green ceramic insert is 10 out of 10 points in my book. By far my favorite version of the 3. This one comes on the leather strap. The leather strap has a nice feature in the clasp, which is a micro adjustment button that you can easily slide and change the strap without having to take out the pins from the holes and do it manually. You can just slide it like that and it will adjust nicely. So yeah, I mean, this gilt dial version, nice vintage touch, by far my favorite, and it's a good looking watch for a reasonable price tag. The price starts at 2,680 euros for the leather strap version and 2,880 euros on the bracelet. So solid built GMT watch from Longines. under 3,000 euros is a good catch, I'd say. Moving on to the smaller of the two, the Spirit 37. In my book, it's a very appreciated release from Longines, because previously for the time-only versions we had it in 40 and 42 millimeters. My opinion is that they were too big, at least for a 16.5 centimeter wrist. So now we have them in 37 millimeters. I've been wearing this one for a while and I must say I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by Longines. This is a very nice, solid watch. It's nothing complicated, but it does the job very well, and I think this one will be a very popular model from the brand. So with me today I have on my wrist the champagne dial version on the leather strap, and on the bracelet here we have the matte black dial version. And let's start with the matte black dial version. 37 millimeter stainless steel case, 11.7 millimeters in thickness, water resistant to 100 meters, and a lug-to-lug distance of 47 millimeters. This one doesn't have a screw down crown such as the Zulu time has. That doesn't bother me at all. It's still water resistant to 100 meters. We see the same like design cues between the two, between the GMT and the time only version. You have this matte black dial with the nice legible numerals around. You have the 5 stars above the chronometer text and the date window. And this is one thing regarding the date window that I think was a very good move from Longines. So on the 40 and 42 millimeter versions, they had the date window at 3 o'clock. And especially at the 42 millimeter version, it looked terrible because they cut off the hour marker at 3. Didn't look good in my eyes at all. And they moved the date here to the 6 o'clock position, which makes it blend in super nicely. It doesn't interfere anywhere on the dial. It looks really good. Same kind of stainless steel bracelet here with the same kind of clasp. Micro adjustment in the clasp. Feels good, solid, nothing to complain about. Also the same kind of finish to the case. We have the brushed sides and brushed upper parts of the lugs with this nice chamfer going around the case sides. Also the bezel mixes polished and brushed surfaces, so it's polished around but brushed on top, which makes it look very sporty, I'd say. It plays nicely in the light. Moving on from the bracelet version to the one I have on my wrist, which is the champagne dial on the leather strap. This is for me probably the nicest combination, I must say. Very nice champagne tone to the dial. I like that they made it in champagne more than a crisp silver one, because combined with this vintage leather strap, it's a nice vintage touch to it. I like the monochromatic look of this one. It's kind of reminding me of the Oyster Perpetual 41 a bit, color scheme wise, but in a more affordable and achievable package, so to say. This version on the leather strap comes without the folding clasp, but it has a regular tang buckle. For me, that's not a deal breaker at all. I mean, I must say in some or most cases, I prefer them on tang buckles, because then they don't build too much on the height on the clasp side of the watch. So this gives you a pretty snug and a nice feel on the wrist. Movement wise, we have a ETA movement with 72 hours of power reserve that is COSC certified. It's a good workhorse, and I see this one being a very big hit for the brand, and I think many people will appreciate this case size. It's much more wearable than the older siblings in 40 and 42 millimeters, and is suitable for both men and women, I'd say. Price wise, it starts at 2,050 euros on the leather strap, and on the bracelet it would cost you 2,310 euros. So a good looking, well built watch with a nice quality feel to it for under 2.5k is good in this segment, I'd say. Yeah, I must say the Spirit 37 hits the sweet spot for me in terms of wearability, in terms of design, in terms of the quality of the watch overall. So that's a big thumbs up for me, Longines. Alright guys, that's it for today. That's 4 novelties from the Longines in terms of the Zulu time and the Longines Spirit 37. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments what you think about these watches and which one do you prefer the most. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.